Sorry for the technical difficulties. Yeah, we had a few tech difficulties, so I just managed to sort them out. So we're online now and we're live. So thank you guys, those of you who are joining us today. Thank you so much. Make sure if you have any comments or questions or anything else, please make sure you put it in the comments on the chat of on the side of the video. Otherwise, get ready for an amazing live stream today. So again, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to Bridging the Realm. This is the place where we bridge the gap between the physical and non-physical dimensions, the seen and the unseen. So today, as it's 11:11, I thought we could do something a little bit more different and a little bit exciting also to do with the whole idea behind manifestation. And also today being 11:11, a lot of people from the spiritual community have talked about how today is a very important day and a very potent day for manifesting. And as such, I've brought on two amazing guests with me today, which I'm sure you have already seen previously on my channel. And we'll be talking about quantum healing, abundance, manifestation, and many more exciting and interesting interesting things to talk about from this live chat today. So my first guest is the amazing and incredible Jasmin-Lalani Fejerang. And she is an abundance and life coach, a healer and a reiki master whose mission is to assist people on their ascension path and aligning them back with their soul. So her work currently focuses on helping people to manifest abundance and to realize their dreams. I really admire her work in the way in which she combines the spiritual and the physical aspects of life and this reality, because I'm sure many of you watching will probably know that balance is really key, especially in the world that we're living in now. It's really important to combine the spiritual side with the physical as well. And I think she does this in such an incredible way. So today we'll be talking a little bit more about her work and her new venture into cryptocurrency and just where the whole economy is moving. So it's a very important topic, and I hope you guys stick with us until the end. And I also have the incredible Jerome Headley, who I've also had previously on my channel. And Jerome is a energy worker and a clairvoyant who specializes in bioenergetic and quantum healing. And his mission is to empower people to reconnect with their divine soul blueprint. So again, Jerome's work is incredible. His knowledge on the human body, on the quantum healing, bioenergetic healing, which is really still something that's relatively unknown, also in the spiritual field, is really just on point, and he's so knowledgeable about this topic, and I really can't wait for you guys to hear what he has to say about the future of healing, about the future of humanity, and how, you know, medicine is basically going to evolve. And so I'm really excited to join for us to be joined by these two guests. So please welcome Jerome and Jasmin. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Sorry for the long introduction again, but we're finally here. How are you both?
Beautiful. Oh, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, we got through to the end of that. Okay, how are you guys feeling today with 11:11? I know Jerome just spoke about how the energy is being kind of weird and high. What are you noticing so far?
Okay, so yeah, the energy, I noticed, yeah, the energy is it's been pretty high, especially since yesterday, or even like a couple of days coming up into this portal day. Yeah, I find it is a perfect time for actual like setting intentions, being mindful of your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts. So you're able to you know, be on point with those manifestations coming into not just the end of this year, but coming into 2021.
Yeah, potent stuff. What about you, Jasmin? What are you feeling so far?
Well, 11/11, it sounds like a nice and dandy day, Ooh, but really, I think it all really depends on people's, where they're at, their perception, their dimension, even their location. Like when I looked at Jerome, he showed me outside and I literally had tears in my eyes, like, wow, just like Mother Earth looks so harmonious there, And over here for me, I'm in the snow, amazing winter wonderland. But for me, like the energy that I feel with the collective is like, I see it like this big fork in the road where 11/11 is a great day to kind of really clarify and magnify what direction do you want to take. And for me, like what I learned about living out here in Montana is that there's these things called draws, and draws are like roads where these mountains meet somewhere, like not like a valley, but just like kind of like a deep hill where all of these roads meet. And so right now I just feel like the 11/11 portal is, we're at this draw and we're deciding which road or which mountain are we going to climb now to overtake to get to that top, So that's how I really feel is the 11/11 manifestation abundance portal energy for the collective. So some people see it as clarity, and some are just confused and like, I don't know, I see these big mountains, but really, truly, it's just pick one direction and go. And as you climb up this mountain, you will achieve and expand the reality, and the dreams will be a lot more tangible,
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, really well put. Yeah, I totally agree. And I love what you said about, just choosing, just like making that choice and choosing one reality or choosing one path. Because I've noticed, that's one thing I noticed, especially recently, because I know, of course, probably a lot of people are confused and, they don't know which direction to go in terms of like their career maybe or relationships or anything. And I feel like that's what keeps us stuck more than anything. But once you make a choice and once you make that decision, it's almost like the universe starts to gather things for you, and it's like bam, 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 you start to manifest everything, but it's like you have to make that choice, you have to make that decision, otherwise you're just going to stay stuck. Yeah.
Definitely. And I was even thinking about you, Desi, like, how we were talking about you leaving and going off to a different country. And so you decided to do it. And now look at where they're going on a second lockdown from what I hear. I don't know. But I'm like, wow, Desi totally got out of that.
Well, we'll see if it's an escape, because maybe they'll have a lockdown where I'm now. But you never know. But for now, I'm good. No, I definitely feel I've made the right decision with that. And yeah, I mean, it's been crazy. You've obviously seen, I've been speaking to you both, and you've seen how many changes there've been in my life in the last few months. And it's like, again, once I made that choice, once I made that decision, everything started dropping into my reality. Everything that I had written on my list of things I want to manifest, it's like boom, 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 one after the other. But it's like I had to make that choice, and I have to shift into, and it's like making that choice shifted me into a completely different vibration. And that, it's almost like that's what allowed these things to come into my reality. Otherwise it wouldn't have happened. I know that, because it was very clear for me when I was deciding, and I was like, okay, now you can, because it reminds me of the whole Abraham Hicks stuff, isn't it? The Abraham Hicks talks a lot about this. When you want something, when you desire something and you ask the universe, it's there, it's straight away, it's in your reality, it's in your sort of vibrational reality. But then you have to shift your vibration to match the things that you want.
And that's essentially like how quantum jumping is. Moving into different realities that already exist simultaneously with this one.
Yeah, exactly.
Matching the vibration, the frequency.
The whole concept is so it's so crazy, but it's I feel like I'm starting to actually understand it now, how it works. And you shift your consciousness a little bit, and it's like everything around you shifts at the same time. It's like in your shift. It's pretty interesting.
So it kind of even links into the whole like Mandela effect stuff too. At least I always see it. It's like you shift into a reality that's slightly different than the one you were previously in. For example, I have a cat here, and I kind of convinced that they're shifting to a different reality where her personality is a little different. Like she's like, to me, she's really different, right? And yeah, and you can see like in other people's behaviors and attitudes as well too. I have noticed within myself when I actually change my perceptions through maybe removing certain programs, certain limiting beliefs, uh, connected into maybe certain aspects of how I may see a particular person or interact with a particular person. I noticed that it would appear as if their entire being has changed, or even ever so slightly.
Yeah.
Towards in terms of the interaction,
Mhm.
that or the way that they see the reality, or they may come and tell you, yo, like I just had an awakening or something like that, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely like a quantum jumping kind of scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
yeah. So
totally.
you
That's
even though the rain falling, right, and outside the sky kind of clear, you know.
oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's, two different realities. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's really strange because before, when I was kind of getting into this stuff and I was reading about how our realities are going to like kind of split. The Earth is going to split into two different kind of Earths. And I thought the way I imagined it was,
Bifurcation.
huh?
I think it's a bifurcation, they
Clarification,
call
yeah,
it.
something like that, yeah. But I
Yeah.
kind of imagined it as, where basically this reality is gonna kind of stop existing from our reality, but it's not really like that, is it? It's like the way I had it described to me recently was, it's kind of like we're all in our own individual bubbles, and it's like I'm in this bubble that is this frequency, and you're in that bubble that is that frequency, and we can still see each other, but we're in different, like,
Right.
I don't know, dimensions, or I don't know. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I
Yeah.
feel when I go to the airport and there's tons of people walking through, but I literally see no one like even look at me. Like
Yeah.
I'm almost invisible
Yeah.
when I go to these big airports and stuff because so many people are just in their own dimension, you know? And I will literally sit there, like for a 2-hour layover and just watch these people and just, see that they're all in their own little worlds in their own dimensions, but they're only we could all be in the same room, but not even notice each other, but then that
Right.
also goes back to the perspective of how strong our energy is, that we're worlds apart, we're continents and seas apart, but yet we're here now, like having this conversation,
So it can
so
work. Yeah. So it can totally work both ways. It can work to separate us or to unite us.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty powerful.
It all depends on how you use the energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely something to, I guess, definitely something that's gonna be coming up more and more now with everyone becoming aware of these things and seeing the glitches in the matrix and stuff like that.
Yeah, there are a lot of glitches.
Yeah. What are you noticing, Jerome? What type of glitches are you kind of experiencing so far?
Well, this is everything in terms of like the like revealing a certain like layers of corruption and different various establishments, and I gotta be mindful of the keywords and stuff, but the old energy, or what some would call the old empire, the old civilizations. A lot of people starting to realize that, like, if you actually look into like a lot of these ancient civilizations like Babylon and Sumeria and them, you would realize there are parallels to what's taking place now, or at least in the sense of how their system was running, in terms of like the maritime law connecting into the Phoenicians and stuff like that, the Romans even, Tartarians, right? And so right now we actually seeing a shift in that energy, a shift in that age, and they can't stop it. They can't do anything about it. They you can see them trying, and that's what's actually in itself, well, physically starting to like allow for people to actually see these agendas that have been playing out. So they, to me, I see them as glitches, because it's like you can see them fumbling to try to like keep everything together, but it's not. A lot of people are awakening, a lot of people protesting, against a lot of the signs of like tyranny and the Orwellian society and stuff like that. So
yeah,
but it's gonna be a very interesting couple of months. There is gonna be, I guess, a lot more like confusion for people and stuff. But is in itself a clearing, energetically, of energy that has been here for thousands of years, even millennia.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I think it's so important that people kind of verse themselves in this kind of how this whole thing works, isn't it? Because we are clearing so much like of the older generational traumas and like the past and history. So I think it will just do people such like help if they do kind of start looking into that in the way in which we are, this whole energetic way of looking at things works, and how we are releasing these energies from the past and everything. Because otherwise I guess people are just confused, like you just said, and they're wondering what the hell is going on, why are we going through so much stuff.
It's a step process. I had to remind myself of that, having to like learn the different process, the stair-step process of actually like coming to these realizations of where energy and how energy work is possible and stuff through quantum, realizing the quantum reality and stuff like that. So it's a step process.
Yes, definitely. Well, speaking of quantum reality, tell me a little bit about your work, because you specialize in the bioenergetic healing. You work with a kind of non-physical reality more than anything else. So explain a little bit more about that, and how does it work? What is bioenergetic healing, and how does it relate to the to the quantum world in the way in which you're working?
Okay, so how it connects is through quantum world, connecting into how we are energy. So physicists would talk about that. So in itself, but bioenergetic healing is you basically bringing back into alignment the energetic system that would have been distorted through a lot of the programming within this realm, within the reality. This stretches again back into like thousands of years of programming, right? You look at like different, even the language, for example. You look at various pure tones of vibrations, language like Hebrew and stuff like that, and then it is bottlenecked down into English. Just like that has occurred, so has the energetic system also been suppressed to a certain degree of its own expression within the reality. And the bioenergetic healing is basically assisting in bringing you into your awareness of that connection that you have to the one source, the infinite creator, the perpetual energy. It connects into like I kind of follow the law of one teachings a bit, which connects into like the crystalline consciousness, which some may know as like Christ consciousness or crystalline consciousness.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Let me just clarify for people watching who might not have seen any of our previous interviews. So with bioenergetic healing, you're talking about, you're basically working with the energetic blueprint of the being, of the person, right? So so it's kind of like how we have, I guess people would see it as an aura or as that's around the physical body, but it exists in the non-physical dimension, right? So you're working with your clairvoyant abilities to see into their blueprint. Yeah. Okay. And every living being has that, right? It's like a blueprint that every living being has. Okay. Yeah.
I think there's a reconnection of the blueprint which exists, right? In the higher dimensions, or we're considered to be the non-physical. So you're basically bringing that awareness or reminding the consciousness of that blueprint and bringing it into sync. So certain things like healing within the body would occur, for example, right?
So what you're
mind, emotions.
Yeah. So sorry. Again, I just want to, because I'm just trying to picture in my mind to make it clearer to myself as well. So what you're doing is, say for example, the doctors, they start from here, so they start from the physical and they work their way, whereas you start from here, you start from the non-physical, and then that trickles down into the physical, right? So that's
because mostly there's an aspect of, so this is connected into like chelotic sense and stuff, where they actually connect aspects of what they call transduction sequence, where there's a block, a cutoff point in the aspect of the transaction sequence, which is from like pure source awareness trickling down into like the quarks and the quantum realm, quantum reality, connecting into the DNA and stuff like that. So there are certain particular blocks within the for example, if you look at it's like an antenna. If your body is an antenna, and you're receiving from the router, which would be source, some aspects of that signal can be blocked, which would then cause a reaction in your system, right? or miasma, right, which would form certain things such as like cancers and stuff like that. So they essentially originate from like thoughts, ideas, even emotions, right? Trickling into the physical reality. So so in itself, like I tune into that feed and align those signals, basically.
Okay. So when some healers say that like 99% of all illnesses are caused by our thoughts and our emotions, do you agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, it goes further than that too. In the sense of like the dimensional awareness and stuff. But thoughts and emotions, certain things that we may hold on to, that we may not be aware that we're holding on to still, like resentment, anger.
I think it's 50%, like 50% DNA and fate, destiny, and then 50% awareness, perception, and experience, because that truly to me is the awakening and shifting and permeable change. When we talk about healing, we're truly like transformation, like transformationally shifting. And so it takes the experience, the awareness, and the perception, but the perception has to shift, but the awareness has to be there. But in order for that to happen, it has to be through experience, which every day, all day we're experiencing. We're always manifesting, we're always attracting our reality based on our subconscious paradigms. What are the programs that are running it? That's the subconscious, and it's the conscious mind that is able to that should be now in control, but it's having that balance. Yes.
The balance. Even think it when you look at even like hemispheric synchronization as well too, which is again connecting into like the subconscious mind and becoming more aware of what's within the subconscious mind as well too, which is
And
why it
even
can be
well, even Andrew, Weston, he talks about we have a mind, like our mind conceptual system, but we have our brain. And it's like synchronizing those two, just like the yin and yang, that live stream. We have the brain, but we have the mind, and it's connecting them both together. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, we signal. So you're able to consciously receive, based on the experience that we are having here within this realm. Yeah.
Wow, that's really interesting. So where do you guys see like the future of medicine, or the future of healing going? Do you think now a lot more people are going to start getting into quantum healing and kind of learning about how it works, and learning that actually it's not really from the physical level we need to treat? Well, we can still do it from the physical level, but it's all the other levels that have to be treated as well. So do you think like more people are going to go into this now and start treating us from those aspects rather than just treating the physical issue?
Go ahead, Jasmine.
I think that people will eventually, we'll all evolve as a collective, but really, truly, I think that I see it, the whole collective, as, Earth is a spiritual classroom, like it's a spiritual university, and people aren't aware of that. And many people are still toddlers and babies and still learning how to crawl, while some people, they are a little bit more advanced now that they're able to read and write, know how to communicate with the universe, know that there's other beings out there, the more information of intelligence, that's why it's important for us to have these conversations, to put ourselves out there, so we're able to help these people, to help understand that dis-ease comes from spirit first before physical, when we were taught the complete opposite. And so I totally believe that quantum healing, quantum energy, being able to know based on your thoughts, emotions, and feelings, understanding that is huge. Some people are like, think that's crazy talk, when actually it's really the truth. Which we can all agree with.
And it's gonna move into those levels of awareness for different people at specific times, but it's gonna eventually it'll be known by most people. A lot of people are coming into that awareness now, and when you look at it, like a lot of people are starting to tap into like aspects of like meditation, realizing that there is an aspect of the physical that you work on, but then there's also aspects of the mental or the emotional that you also have to work through as well too. Processing certain things that are coming up or that may have been stuck within the body itself, and actually beginning the process of bringing it up, processing it. There are different ways to do it. Some people do it through meditation, others through even like yoga, for example, too. Deep breathing. I got a friend that does it through just working out in the gym and stuff like that. Everyone has their own different types ways of actually going through these processes. So it's gonna evolve. In the coming years.
I hope that, and I think it's really important also to kind of realize that, you know, it's very important to have that balance between both aspects, both the physical and the spiritual, as in feeding the body physically with good food, you know, vitamins, nutrition, all the things that the physical body needs in order to sustain itself, right? And I know, Jerome, you experiment on yourself a lot with these things, and you do the cleansing. It's really amazing because for me, it's always, I would always go to someone who has, you know, experienced it for themselves, and then I know that it's actually working. So I know that you do a lot of that, and then you kind of on your own YouTube channel, Unified Energetics, you kind of post a lot of videos about that. So it's really important. And you also have spoken a lot about the gut biome and the importance of the gut, and how the gut has played such a big role. Can you just talk a little bit about that in terms of why the gut is so important in terms of the physical body?
Yeah. They have linked a lot of like diseases. Well, this would be like I guess you could call it mainstream science now. They're starting to discover a lot of that. A lot of the diseases, like the autoimmune diseases and stuff. They are connected into aspects of gut microbiome imbalance, and a lot of that is connected into the like GMO foods aspects. Like some people would be familiar with like glyphosate, which you would find in like the like certain pesticides, stuff like that, which actually decimate the gut microbiome, which then with the gut microbiome, which is your a layer of your defense, or they are actually in charge of like 80% or so of our immune system. When that is depleted, then you have certain pathogens, then like Candida, certain strains of strep, certain other parasites would actually then be able to you could call it the like mafia, the mafia. The mafia would roll into the body, roll into the system. Your planet or your ship is now has now been boarded, right? And so they do their thing. It I've found too as well that it affects like a lot of aspects in terms of what certain ideas, certain thoughts that we have. They often tend to like, you know, feed off of like certain frequencies as well, or certain hormones or certain chemicals that we actually produce in our body. Spiritually, you can see that as like spiritual like parasites as well too, that, you know, if somebody has certain fear, tends to feed off of that. You can see how the system in itself functions that way as well, to kind of like project fear through the mainstream media and stuff like that on people as well. So it is, I've been connecting it. I'm still doing aspects of the connecting as well, because right now I'm on the connection of crystals within our body, right? So certain like chemicals and stuff actually have like a crystalline structure, right? Similar to like
Wow,
these.
look at the energy of that. You can see.
Yeah, what is that?
That looks
This is
powerful.
Andara crystal. Yeah. So they have them here charging in the sun.
Oh, that looks powerful. Look at that.
So but yeah, I do a lot of energy work with these as well. Because again, we're crystalline beings by nature, and aspects of these crystals existing on the planet. You know, I believe that there are aspects of them that are here to actually remind us of who we are as crystal beings, right? So yeah, they so again, yeah, the physical body. So what I actually do then is I can also like assist people in like guiding them into like going through what some would call the brute force way, which is like cleansing the body and stuff like that, which would then allow for the consciousness to come into the body a lot more, assisting with certain like freeing up with certain like parasites physically, which I noticed then kind of like like shifts a lot of like the spiritual parasites as well too.
Let me
Certain correspondence.
Yeah, let me just ask you this. So, do you think people who do have a lot of parasites, both physical and non-physical, do you think it's partly because not our whole being is taking up our body, if that makes sense? Like our being is not completely grounded in our body, and so there's this space that's left within our energy field that's empty. So obviously there's like other things that will come in because they'll just fill up that space. Does that make sense? That's kind of what I learned from...
There are certain aspects of like fragmentation that would occur through like traumatic experiences, for example, where aspects of our energy may be they kind of like leave the body, which would then for example, like there are some of these parasites in the body. Actually, there are some that eat. They would take selenium from the body, and so then the body or the cells still need selenium. So they, from what I understand, what I've been reading, some of them actually take like the mercury because it has a similar compound. So stuff like that. They usually strip the body from certain minerals. But yeah, aspects of it is the trauma. So the energy would move from the body, and then again you would have spirits would come in. So
yeah, so yeah, it's definitely important to keep just to keep that physical and spiritual aspect balanced. Okay.
Well, I think with that, just like when you receive a parasite internally within the body, it's based off what you consume. It's what you're eating, physically, because the body, or I mean, it could be more, because energy, spirit, of course, everything comes from spirit. Dis-ease comes from spiritual first before physical. But even with spiritual parasites, it's based on what you're consuming, like the TV outs or that you're watching, the programs you're watching, the YouTube channels that you're watching, the people that you're resonating with. If you're resonating with people who you see there's a little bit more dark than light, I mean, if you're even at that awareness where you can see the more percentage of dark than light, you want to be obviously more in resonation with people more of light than dark, because it's just a balance of the light and dark within. But in most people, especially right now, there's more dark, so parasitic energy that is actually running the programs within the psychological systems and within the body, and therefore within their reality and spirit,
Yes. So yes, I totally agree with that. Yes, I think we have to be very discerning right now with who and what we are around, and we're letting ourselves kind of in for, isn't it? So
God guard your portals.
Sorry?
I gotta go. I gotta go pick up my nephew now.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerome. Thank you so much.
If you're still on when I come back, I would come back on.
Okay. Yeah. Great. Definitely. Just tell people where they can find you if they want to know more about your work.
You can find me on YouTube, Unified Energetics, Instagram, Unified Energetics as well, or Facebook, which is the same name. So yeah, or you can email me, Jerome Headley 246@gmail.com for any inquiries on consultations, sessions, anything, right?
And that's also in the description of the video below. So yeah, if anyone wants to check that out, then they can find you for that. Thank you so much, Jerome. Thank you for joining us.
All right. Bye.
Okay. Right. Okay. So much for the gut biome and healing. But Jasmine, you've also done a lot of that, haven't you? Because you're also kind of, I guess, what I would call a conscious eater, or
You know, there's balance. I mean, I'm that type of person where, I mean, I love meat. And when I moved to Montana, living like the land that, you know, the elk, the bison, like I crave, it makes my mouth water. And for some people in the spiritual community, it can't get past them, like, oh, you should be vegan and blah, blah, blah. But one thing about I like to say about that is it's balance. You know, there's a reason why I need this grounded energy. And for me, I see it as, you know, people who are naturally high vibrational beings, like their DNA, like their energy is just usually just high vibration. Us type of people need that grounding life force energy. That's, you know, from the land. Like my body craves it. You know, if there's elk at a restaurant, oh my gosh, that's like prime, you know, meat at a restaurant, you know, like steak. And so for me, that's just what my body loves. And even though it may not be, some people may not agree with it and that you should be vegan and this and that, it's just that where I'm at right now in my awakening and my ascension is just that's where I resonate with.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, totally. I completely agree with you on that. And I think it's we should really be at this point where we're kind of listening to our bodies and what the cravings, unless they're unhealthy cravings like chocolate, alcohol, of course, like you would think twice to take that. Yeah, but in terms of like the type of food you should eat, I've also kind of very much moved into this space where I'm kind of like just looking at what does my body need? Do I need like a salad, or do I need meat? You know, I've been vegetarian for almost 2 years, but recently, since I moved to Spain, I've been eating meat, and it's kind of like, yeah. I mean, I still eat, you know, I still eat mostly vegetarian food, but every now and then I'll be like, I really crave meat. I'm gonna eat meat today, and that's it. And it's like, and then I feel good. So yeah. Yeah, so it's definitely, I definitely feel like I'm kind of at this point where I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be strict with myself in terms of I don't need this, I don't need that. I'm just listening to what my body needs, and then I'll just eat that, and I feel much better because just like you, I feel like I definitely need more grounding, and obviously with all those high energy and everything, I think the meat will definitely helps with that. So I think it's quite important that we, you know, listen to those cravings that we have.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. But anyway, to move on to the next theme. And yeah, so you've been on quite a journey for the last few months with getting into cryptocurrency and the whole new economy, you know, really like studying it. And I have to say, I really admire the way in which you've been kind of just putting this information out there and really presenting your own story behind it, because it's been really interesting. Obviously, I've known you for over a year now, and I've been kind of following your progress with everything, and it's been so nice to see how, you know, you've been growing your business, and everything has been changing for you so much, and it's just really, really empowering to see, and really, really inspiring as well. So tell me, yes, let's go back to the beginning, and tell me a bit more of why you got into crypto in the first place. Tell me a bit about that.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, in the summertime, Desi, you actually introduced me to all of our soul fam, well, a big group of them, which is, you know, with Andrew Weston and meeting the whole Force team, the Galactic Force team. That was really a huge step for me because I was longing for that, like, connection with soul family. And I have sisters here and there, you know, but we don't talk every day. But it was just great to meet up with like-minded people and soul family, you know, that have that same resonation of the energy, and knowing that we have big missions to fulfill. And so by me like having you guys, it's like it's been able to have more confidence in knowing like, okay, for sure I have a big mission, for sure I have a big purpose. Everything that I've been feeling in my intuition has been telling me this is all confirmation. You know, and that's the beauty about having soul family. And so in the summertime, I realized this, I go, wow, I do have a big mission. It's 2020, things are changing, and I know I need to step up. So I was just around a fire, you know, with my family. And I just said straight out to the universe, I said, you know what? I deserve to have an abundance in my bank account every morning when I wake up, just by waking up, like not having to work, not having to do anything, because I know who I am. I know how I have a big mission. I have lived on this planet many, many times to help, community, collective, but this is like the biggest one. And so I kind of just knew it and I commanded it, and then the next morning my guides were like, well, you see your girlfriend Brooke doing crypto, whatever she's doing, just do whatever she says, even though it sounds like, do whatever she says, but literally, like when I heard my guide say that, I go, all right, whatever she says. I had no idea what she was doing. I just knew it was crypto. I knew she was making some good money. And I go, whatever it is, my guides told me I'm going to like to do this. So I will, and some people may not have that type of confidence within their own intuition or their own higher self, but it takes that leap of faith to just believe in yourself to even try. Because it wasn't like an actual person. No one straight up said to me, or the universe didn't write me a letter to where I physically needed it. It was just that strong feeling and the universe telling me, by me communicating, commanding this, they responded back. And so I just took into action. And so I talked to my girlfriend, Brooke, and she told me what she was doing. She was learning about smart contracts with cryptocurrency. And cryptocurrency, if anyone doesn't know what that is, it's money. It's just like a fiat currency. And this is where that education comes into play, because some people doesn't even know what a fiat currency is, which fiat currency, if you don't know, means your US dollar, your Japanese yen, your Mexican peso, your euro. That is fiat, but that's based off your country's currency. What cryptocurrency is, it's a digital currency. So it's not like an actual dollar, like paper, but it's digital and it's still considered a currency, and it fluctuates just like the regular dollar. The foreign exchange, when you go and you exchange the dollar, you have to exchange it based on the conversion rate of that day. And that's the same thing with cryptocurrency. So cryptocurrencies have different types of coins, different types of currencies, just like fiat. We have all the different countries that create their own monetary system, of exchange. Yeah. And so I started to learn this new way of life. I started to understand this type of platform can bring power back to the people financially. Yeah. It's just that we were never taught this type of education. We were never taught what the millionaires and billionaires were doing. Millionaires and billionaires are creating assets. They're creating 3 different types of income to have them work for them eventually. Of course, it takes work and time, you need assets, you need passive, you need residual, and then what you're actually doing. So those are all types of things that millionaires, billionaires, just really successful people are doing. And so that's just really basically what I am introducing into everyday people, everyday community of, the basic 99%. Yeah. And so what I'm doing is smart contracts. And smart contracts are lifetime assets, just like what these millionaires and billionaires are doing. But these are lifetime assets on cryptocurrencies. Mm-hmm. And this is the part where people have to get grounded in, is just the fact that the telephone was inevitable. The internet is inevitable. Zoom is inevitable. We needed this. Otherwise, how else are we going to communicate because of this whole social distance and us not being able to be physical? So just like that, cryptocurrency is inevitable, and it's definitely not going anywhere. I highly recommend, if anyone resonates with this message, that you go and do your research on your country and the economic update on what's going on right now, today. It's very important to do your own research, because for us in America, the US dollar is down by 22%, and actually like 96% since 1917, to where that's why we are experiencing inflation, And so there's a lot that's going on economically all around, but it's very important to do your own research. And the platform and the offering that I give to people is sharing them what these lifetime assets are. And what's really great is it's powered back to the people. It's decentralized, meaning 100% of the earnings go straight back to the people.
Yeah.
So when you buy your lifetime assets, which you can get paid unlimited for life, you know, all of that money is not going to a company or to a centralized banking institution. It's literally dispersing based on the algorithm from the blockchain that goes directly back to its people who own these smart contracts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're basically lifetime assets. And so it was just having to take learning a whole new world, a new language, which is cryptocurrency. And I have been able to really learn with ease and grace. And so that's why I feel I'm a very big, like a lighthouse or like an emissary for this type of information, because it hasn't even been 3 months, Desi, and I've made almost $30,000 alone from these cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
With just a $1,000 investment.
Yeah. And I've seen your progress, because you've been obviously posting on your channel and on your Instagram and everything, and I've seen your progress, and I'm kind of like, wow, this is really working. Yeah. And the thing is, normally I wouldn't, if it was anyone else, I wouldn't believe them. I'll think, no, they're like, it's you know, it's BS. But I know you, and I know that you wouldn't lie about anything like that. I know obviously how you work with people and stuff, so I know that obviously this is for real. This is and obviously your friend Brooke, who's also been doing this, she's also been seeing such a huge profit from it. And yeah, so it only makes sense. I mean, to me personally, from everything that I've seen and people's predictions, you know, people who are in the spiritual field and who are kind of looking at the astrology of everything, the numerology, and kind of predicting where this is all going. I mean, the economy is falling. We already know that. It's inevitable.
100%.
So it only makes sense that something else is going to come up. And I think this, the cryptocurrency is definitely something that will be.
And timing is huge when it comes to things like this, because really, since it's at the infancy stages, it's really important to understand and grasp the concept of cryptocurrency and really the power of what it can do for you and your family, your reality, like forever, for life. You know what I mean? Like, it's definitely worth learning into and leaning into. For me, I just went balls deep, like whatever, you know, but that's because I'm just on this path of just knowing. And so because I have full belief in everything that I do, everything that comes my way, I just go and I run with it. And so because this is like the infancy stages, I really feel like this is for people who really do resonate with cryptocurrency, who are understanding it, because we are the people who are going to be like the emissaries to be going out to the masses. This is just very, very beginning stages, you know? So definitely very powerful.
No, really powerful. And to me, it makes so much sense, because it's like, why do we even need the banks? We don't need the banks, you know, you don't need them. They're just the middlemen that are taking these huge percentages of your money that really doesn't need, they don't need to do that. But of course, that's how they make their money. So why not just cut out the middleman and just, you know, support each other, which is basically what what the program is about, the one that you are.
It's decentralization. Exactly what you're talking about, is taking the middleman away. And decentralization is also, people can connect that to blockchain, because blockchain technology doesn't have to just be for cryptocurrency, but it's going to be a new way of life, just like the internet, where everything, all information is available and transparent, versus, for instance, the banking systems, they have all of our data, all of our stuff that they have hold and they own, and they can sell, you know, to Facebook, to all these other higher companies that want to get more information out of you, which, you know, it could be, from what I'm learning with digital marketing, this data is for marketing purposes, but obviously it's for a lot more. It's definitely dipping into privacy. You know what I mean? If you guys go down the rabbit hole of social security numbers and birth certificates, and how these are really like, these are literal like death notes, keeping you enslaved to knowing that, I'll just get into it a little bit. So security card, social security card, do you guys have that in UK?
Social security? No, I don't think so. No, not in the same way that you
but
guys.
But birth certificate you guys have, right?
Yeah, we have birth certificate. Yeah.
So with the two, birth certificate and the social security card, basically when you sign up for one, the Social Security is basically your identification number. They're saying your tax ID number, but it's literally where they can track you on anything and everything, the government, the US government.
Yeah.
And so what we are not aware of is this other language that the legal systems, the judicial systems, that all of these lawyers, that they have a language that like regular human beings, they don't understand. So there's key words that actually mean something different. So it could say this, but it could actually be like a secret password to something else.
Yeah.
So with the Social Security card that I just want people to be aware of is that, and the birth certificate, is when you have those capital letters, you become like a corporated entity. So I'm Jasmin Fejerang, but I have capital letters Jasmin-Lalani Fejerang on my Social Security card. Yeah. So if someone or anyone wanted to ever try to sue me, basically, little old Jasmin, I'm not supposed to know that I am separate than the entity of my capital letters.
Yeah.
And so the way that you can break that bond is called secured party creditor. But it takes a lot of documentation, a lot of legal processes to now be disconnected to those two entities. Yeah. Because I just created, now I'm connected to this. So if someone ever tried to evict me or try to take money from me, it would be really from this entity that the government created. Because I'm my own human being. I'm not all capital letters Jasmin, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That makes
so
sense.
There's all of these different ways that the government is already keeping us enslaved. And now the information is just becoming exposed. Yeah. And now I'm starting to realize there's these outlets, there's these resources that can help us to give us to that bridge to that new way of life. While some people are over here saying, oh, this is a scam, or you're going to lose your money and all that stuff. Well, of course they're saying that because they're not the leaders. They're not the emissaries that are supposed to be bringing people on this bridge. Yeah. Like we see this bridge, we're walking it, and we're just helping people walk along this bridge, not so scared. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Thank you for that explanation. That's really interesting to hear, actually. And yeah, they always have, I guess in the UK it would be probably the national insurance that they would class you with. But yeah, that's totally the thing. It's like everyone's being tracked. They know you, every movement that you do. And again, all your money is just disappearing. It's just, you can't even afford to pay anything past after you pay your rent and your basic expenses, and like that's it. But I remember listening. I forgot the name of this guy, but he's really famous. He talks about investing in real estate, and that's how basically he explains he got rich, and he was just basically reinvesting. And it's the same thing. He was like, why would you save money? This money is just sitting there, and it's just deflating. It's not, you're not actually saving any money by saving money in the bank, by keeping money in the bank. You have to invest it in something. So
that is stagnant energy by just letting it sit there.
Yeah, that too.
And then it ties to your relationship with money. Are you willing to give and then willing to receive? Are you willing to let your money work for you? That's where people are not understanding, because there's so much linear programming of, this is X amount of dollars, so I need to make sure I have this amount, and then, gotta subtract it from this and all of that. When for me, I'm starting to live in this reality where money is quantum, just like we're quantum beings. Just by unlocking and mastering your energy, even though I say just, it's very, very tedious work, mental, psychological, spiritual work. But by mastering your energy and being aware of your relationship with money, you can make $100,000 in 3 to 4 months, which my girlfriend Brooke has. She's at 90,000 in 4 months.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I really like about this program as well is that you can use the money straight away. It's not one of those things where it has to stay there for a year and then you can take it out. It's not like, the initial kind of Bitcoin programs that they had previously. which kind of failed. But this is like one where you can actually use it. It's, you know, on a card, and you can use it.
As soon as you make money, you can go ahead and transfer it to your crypto debit card. And so anyone and everyone who sign up for crypto.com, and whenever they decide that they wanted to jump into smart contracts, the first thing that you do is you swap out your fiat for crypto. So swap out your euro for Ethereum or your euro for Tron. And so once you do that, you own cryptocurrency. Like if you have $100, you know, and you wanted to put it into a coin, you now own $100 worth of Tron. So Tron right now, you'd own like 3,000 Tron for $100. Okay. So we have the cryptocurrency, but what we're going to do with this currency is we are going to now activate smart contracts. And activating the smart contracts means you have now purchased yourself lifetime assets that will work for you for life.
Yes. So it's kind of like buying real estate, basically, but it's just like digital real estate.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. It's exactly like real estate, how the value of the real estate will always rise up. But with real estate, you obviously need, like, just like Airbnb, you need people to come through, you know, and as cryptocurrency begins to amp up and skyrocket, it's only going to bring the masses, you know. But I feel that the people who are doing these smart contracts, these are the people who are like these leaders, who are these emissaries, who are ready to share and talk about this redistribution of wealth, because it's really up to the people in order to have this redistribution, you know what I mean? Which is a group effort. It's community.
Totally. Yeah. And it's really about us uniting now and standing up together and saying, you know, no, we're not going to take this shit anymore, basically. And, you know, being controlled by the government and by the powers. It's really us, like, people taking their own power now and starting to realize that actually we've been played for all this time. So I think that's definitely, I mean, I guess at least for the people who are aware of these things, they will know, they'll see that straight away, I think. And that's why I think the cryptocurrency has now taken on, it's like really taken off, because people are starting to realize that, and they've done their research, and they know that the old economy is failing now. It's already fallen. It's just now we're just seeing the results of that. So
yes, absolutely.
That really makes sense to me. Yeah, wow. Well, good times. We have definitely things to look forward to.
Well, I mean, it even goes back to, we're all living in different realities. So as people's worlds are crumbling because so much exposure is coming out, for people like us who've already known this type of information, it's really not about like waiting for these people to wake up. It's truly about now advancing our souls. Like we're the ones who have awakened first. It's time for us to do the actual ascension work for ourselves, because we're the leaders now. Because this 1%, you know, is going down. They're being exposed. Justice will be served in time. But while that's all playing out, it's important to build traction for ourselves, build traction for our own lives and dreams, and what we always like dreamed of being and doing. Like for me, I've always wanted to own a retreat center and be able to fund housing and anything and everything, food, education for these missing and murdered Indigenous women or people who have been affected by it. You know, a lot of Native Americans, or not all, but actually no, all Native Americans who are part of reservations, they cannot get any financial aid or governmental aid at all from the US government. So when a woman goes missing on a Navajo Nation, the Arizona police, state police cannot do nothing. Really? It's because they're tribal. And so if they're tribal, then their tribal government is responsible for their protection. Wow. But it's sad because most of these Native American reservations, they don't have the monetary resources, even the educational resources, you know, things like that to even try. And they're so big and so vast, these reses, you know, that these women are targeted for that reason.
Wow, that's really sad. Wow, I mean, it's crazy because obviously the history in the US, you know, the US initially took the land from the native people, from the you know, from the tribes. So do you feel, I kind of heard someone speaking about this. Do you kind of see this as a with everything that's going on in the US right now, do you kind of see it as a karma, kind of something that's coming around to what basically they did to the natives on the land there?
It could be really complex because I see a lot of Native American people now incarnated as Native, but I see a lot of white settler wounds and karmic energy. You know, and some reasons why people become Indigenous now is because they've done so much hurt and so much wounding to Indigenous people, you know, or vice versa. One person could be Caucasian now because they've done so much oppression or negativity for that race. Therefore, that's their karma now. So it could be complex. Like, so for me, when I see a lot of Native Americans just, you know, having a lot of pride and about, you know, colonialism and stuff like that, of course, but you can't blame the people who are the race that you didn't like from before. It's not these people's fault.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's just based on, I feel, their reality and the karma that they're just experiencing, for sure.
Yeah. And which I guess now with everything going on, like we were saying before, is being released, and all these kind of traumas and things are starting to come out and to just be released, which is a good thing. Yeah, interesting. But for anyone watching now who might be thinking they want to research a little bit more into this and maybe possibly get in contact with you, where can they find you? Where's the best place to find you for this work, for the crypto?
So you can find me on Instagram at Starseed Mystery School, or you can find me on Instagram at Spiritual Crypto. You can find me on Facebook on my fan page at Spiritual Crypto. And I also have a YouTube channel at Starseed Mystery School. And so you can find me. I have all my links on all of those sites. And I have all the links where it talks about if you ever wanted to get into silver and gold, or if you wanted to get into cryptocurrency, or if you want any like attunement with Reiki. I do a lot of services for a lot of people. And so that's why I love where I'm at right now, because I'm able to incorporate and understand the spiritual healing aspect with the abundance, financial security, and prosperity, how they come hand in hand together, you know?
For sure. Yeah. And that's, like I said before, that's one thing I really admire that you do like so well. I mean, you're just a master of so many of these gifts. But one of the things that I love how you do is this, just the combination, because of course, like you were saying before in one of your videos, so many people, especially in the spiritual community, have this thing about money and you know, abundance and manifesting kind of richness. Why do you think it's important for us to kind of get past that, and just for everyone in general, not just people in the spiritual community, but in general, for us to kind of realize that we do deserve money, we do deserve to be rich? It doesn't have to be the rich people who have the money. Why do you think it's kind of see that?
I would say definitely untangling all the programs, or unplugging all of the plugs that you're programmed to when it comes to money. Because money, if we just make it as simple means as it is, we think of money as just the dollar, like the paper. You see $100 bill, people are like, ooh, but you see like an actual piece of printer paper and it's just printer paper, but yet it's the same thing, but your perception holds a different value. But the thing is with this money is that you have to be just willing to be able to see it as just a means of exchange of what it really is. It's just a means of an exchange. And when we know that we just need a means of exchange to do energetic exchanges with people every day, that's what it is. It's just an energetic exchange, the transaction, energetic transaction. You know, we see money as the root of all evil, which of course is the paradigm that we've been living in. But now I'm here, and I know a lot of people, a lot of other starseeds are here to really shift that, because we all came on this planet to do something, but in order for us to do something, we need the means to do it. And so that's where we just get blocked. And so now it's just like, well, you have to understand The only thing blocking our abundance is ourselves, because abundance is our birthright. And it's part of our whole human experience to learn about money coming from the self. When we were always taught it came from someone else, it came from the CEO, it comes from working really hard outside of you, you know? So that would be like my little piece of advice for people.
Oh, yes. Oh, wow. Thank you for that. I completely agree. That's so, I think it's such an important point. And it's so interesting what you said about it's just our perception of that paper that changes it, changes its value. You have like, I mean, I guess, I could give you like a crystal and say, this crystal is worth $100. What can you give me for that $100? And I give you the crystal. It's just, and all we need is like, a bunch of people agreeing that these crystals have this value, and you have this brand new currency now of crystals, right? So it's so, it's so changeable. And I guess we kind of just need to have that perspective of, okay, it's not about that money and that this paper just, can buy so many things. It's like anything that we can assign this value to. So
it's the attachment to the actual paper dollar or the physical money. When it's just an exchange, it's just for you to get by. If you like, for me, I used to get so caught up on, I really, really love, and I wanted to like learn something from a certain teacher, but I just thought it was too expensive. But then I think to myself, but you really, really want this. And this money will always come back. You just have to be able to release it. It's that attachment. If you're stuck with your attachment, you'll never get rid of it.
Totally. I remember once you were speaking about a crystal that you had. I think it was like your favorite crystal or something, or like a pendant that one of your guides told you to throw in the water, and that, don't worry, you'll find a new one. And I thought, and when you said that, I was like, oh my God, throwing my favorite crystal? No, I can't. I can't do that. But you did, and you found this other amazing, I think it was like a pyramid or something. Or
that's so funny you bring it up, because it's right here with me.
Oh wow, there you go. Yeah. Oh,
it's like my favorite crystal. I just keep it with me everywhere. It just feels like home,
That's
know.
So beautiful. Yeah, exactly. It's and I love how you just have this, just this trust, and you're so in tune with your guides and with like spirits messages, like all the messages that you're getting, you're so in tune with, and you kind of just follow up with that, and then you get this amazing thing where you come across this opportunity. And I love that, and I really, really, I hope that one day I trust myself enough to do this as well.
You're definitely in the right path. Like, you went to Spain, that's huge. For me, I feel it's just being okay with the unknown. But for me, and it goes for everyone, there will be one moment in your life where you're going to have to take that leap of faith in order for you to feel what I feel now. And what I feel now is that I'll always be taken care of. And we'll always hear people say that, but it takes that one experience to fully have that leap of faith, to truly trust in God, trust in the universe, trust in whatever source that you are called to, be connected to, that you are truly protected. Like, you can't die unless your mission is fulfilled, or you just say, fuck my mission. That's literally the only way you can die. And when you say fuck your mission, then you're obviously like going down a dark hill and drinking and doing all these negative things, which will create that, spiral effect. So that.
Yeah, totally. And I think for you, it was probably the moment when you decided to leave California, right? When you were in the US, I mean, when you were in California.
That was the moment. Yeah, I left with my son. Left everything behind. I didn't even know if I was going to come to Montana yet. I thought it was just going to be Idaho, but I was all around Idaho, and then decided to come up to Montana, and this truly felt like home and where I needed to do my work.
Wow, that's so beautiful. And that was that leap, wasn't it, that you were talking about? It's kind of just taking that, just not knowing where you're going to end up, but just knowing that you end up somewhere good, somewhere that you're
taken care of. Yes.
That's important, yeah. And that's kind of, that was kind of the last thing I wanted to speak about. And I think it's so important in terms of just this manifestation, and how the way in which we're manifesting now is completely changing, and now that everything seems so much quicker and faster, and you know, we're manifesting so much quicker as well. It's like bam, bam, bam. You know, you have to just jump on the bandwagon, and you know, don't
think too hard.
don't think too hard. Don't get stuck in your mind, because that's one thing I definitely realized. Is like the more you think, it's like when you overthink, it really takes you to some really dark places. And it's just trust, like you said, you know, just trust your heart, trust the signs that you're getting. And for me, especially, I think this in the last few months, and me moving, this has like been the biggest trust challenge I've ever been through, because it was literally like, are you going to trust the signs that you're getting? And like I said to you before, I was getting so many signs left, right, and center, you know, about moving, about, you know, this is not the place for you, you have to move. And I was just getting numbers, like people would mention the names of like the places where I was moving to, and it was just too many to ignore, you know. I mean, one coincidence, two, how many can you say it's a coincidence, you know? So for me, it was kind of like I had to literally sit down and say to myself, okay, am I going to trust these signs and trust the universe, or trust what people are saying to me, which is basically filtered through layers and layers of conditioning, of traumas, of ancestral patterns, of all types of beliefs and limiting patterns. Because a lot of people were saying to me, you know, literally like, you're crazy moving now, you know, during a pandemic, you don't have a job, you don't have this, you don't have that, why are you going? Like, where are you going? And it was kind of like, I know that, but at the same time, it was like this feeling that I just couldn't ignore. And I knew if I didn't do that, if I didn't take that leap, I was going to be stuck, basically, not a very good place. So I'm so glad that I listened. Yeah.
See, and you just like have to just follow the signs. There's never coincidences, ever. And the heart never thinks. It just does.
Yeah.
You can't explain the heart. You can't explain, oh, well, why? Well, why? And it's like, I don't know. I just know.
Exactly.
This doesn't know, but this knows.
And I remember speaking to you about it because you gave me such good advice at the time when I really, really needed it. And it was just everything that you said just resonated with me so much. And, you know, you kind of had a similar thing where when you moved from California, so it was kind of like, you know, it was just exactly when I needed the advice, exactly when I needed to hear it. And it was like, bam, that's it. I know what to do now. So it's little things like that. It's kind of like the universe constantly gives you these things when you need them, at the time when you need them, you know. And that's something I've noticed. Yeah. So people, opportunities, signs, and you just need to put them all together in the puzzle, and, you know, put the puzzle together and just see, okay, what is this picture that the universe is trying to give me right now? So it's so
and
important.
it's your own puzzle. Like it's really hard when you're trying to find confirmation outside of yourself. But then you have soul family, like how we connected, like about you moving, and like from my experience and just sharing through my experience, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's another really interesting thing that happened with what you were saying before, how we had this kind of little online family. And obviously people who are watching this have already know of Andrew Weston, who I've interviewed previously, and the school that he created online. And we kind of all just came together from all these countries around the world, and we were just kind of like this little group of people. And it was such a big, it was just such a savior for me, because it provided me with the support that I needed at the time when I needed it so bad, like so bad. And it was just like, oh my God, this is what I've been asking for so long. And it just felt so nice to have this family across the world that I can resonate with, that I can talk to anything about with. And it just gave me that extra push that I needed at this time, which was so low for me. And it just gave me that push, and I was like, yes, that's what I needed. So it was so amazing. Yeah.
That's exactly how I feel, and exactly my experience, you know, just through me. And it's so awesome that we get to connect like this, like the soul family, and then having to take that leap of faith. When you take that leap of faith, then so much more comes. Then you learn so much more about yourself.
Yes, totally. And things definitely shift. And I think you know, having you guys around, and just having this kind of feeling this feeling of tribe, of a community, has really made me realize how important it is to actually have these people around you, whether they're online or offline, you know, in your own environment. And I think it's really, this is kind of really where we're going, isn't it? Like people are kind of starting to create these communities, and they're being pulled into these different parts of the world because they're realizing that your family isn't necessarily the people you're supposed to be around, you know, and you have other families, like other tribes that you can join and that you can build amazing things with, like what you're doing right now with the crypto and what we're doing together with, you know, the spiritual stuff. So I think it's so important to kind of have that. Do you see that? How far in the future do you think communities or tribes are going to start forming again? I know that people obviously already started forming them, but when do you think?
I think it's going to be a huge wave in 2021, because that's when I feel that that's when I'm going to be starting mine. And I have a lot of things lining up for allowing that to happen, you know, physical manifestations, but also in spiritual, just a lot of great things that are happening. But one thing I wanted to touch on when it comes to family, you know, and then soul family, it's kind of like the family you were born into. You're the caterpillar. Those are all the caterpillars. You were born as a caterpillar. But the moment that you're going through your transformation, you become a butterfly, and then you go fly with your other butterfly soul family. You know, the people who are actually have spreading their wings, the people who have actually gone through the transformation. We're in a time right now where people are scared to go to the cocoon. They're like, oh my God, what? I will change forever. You know, just like a bird. I think it was from your story. A bird, you know, seeing a bird fly outside of the cages, they think you're crazy or something like that.
Oh,
you know
yeah. The story, yeah. The Instagram story that I posted, I can't remember that. But yeah, if you're born in a cage, then you think that people, I mean, if you're a bird born in a cage, then you'll see birds that are flying outside of the cage as crazy because you get madness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And that's what it is. It's just the process of life. You're a caterpillar, then you go and get your wings and fly.
Yeah, totally. Yes. No, I and again, it's about the perspective, isn't it? Having that shift in your perspective of what's, I guess, what's normal and what's okay to do, and kind of just breaking outside of your box. And one thing that I realized through this whole process as well was how much we're just, people just don't take risks anymore. It's like, what the hell happened to just like do something just for, you know, just for the sake of it, or just because you just want to do it, just because why do we need to have A, B, C, D, everything planned out and knowing exactly what's going to happen and knowing exactly who we're gonna meet or what's going to, you know? It's like, that's
like
one
when
thing
I walk into Target, I'll walk into Target without my mask on, and people think that's crazy. And it's just like, first of all, I'm just a free thinker. Second of all, whatever happened to taking risk?
Exactly.
And I'm perfectly healthy. I'm perfectly fine. And I know I'm so, like, it's all energy. It's all energy. You're going to attract dis-ease if you are in dis-ease. If you're not in dis-ease, you're not going to attract it. So don't be scared of it, you know? But definitely be consciously aware. Like, it's not like I wake up and I just do whatever. I have to make sure, like, my mind is prepared, my body's prepared. Like, a ritual every day has to occur. You know, it takes a lot of conscious effort into yourself, but that's all it is just conscious effort in yourself. We're too busy thinking about, okay, I got to go to here at 2:30 and then I have to go get this at 6:30 and blah, blah, blah. You know, when it just go within. That's the whole time of this C19 staying at home. It's really go within, you know?
Oh yes, completely. Yeah. Going within and tuning into your own kind of inner world, and just trying to be at peace and a balance with yourself, isn't it? That's what really, I guess,
Before anything.
This year especially. And one thing, are you kind of more aware now, or do you see how when your inner world is like shifting, do you see automatically like your environment, like things in the environment starting to shift as well? Do you see that kind of like knock-on effect straight away? Like, how do you see that?
Yeah, I do. I see it. in my environment, based on the weather. I see it even in people. Being aware of the people you're attracting into your life is very important, because for me, when I go out into town, and it's always been like this for years now, when I go into the grocery store, I never really see anyone. And I don't think anyone sees me, because I literally have my grocery list. It's not like I'm on my phone, but I check my list, I'm doing my groceries, but they're completely not in my field. They're not in my dimension. I see in my peripheral people with their carts, but I never actually see people. Oh, there's an older man. Oh, there's a younger woman. It's just that they're not in my vibrational reality, and I'm just not in theirs. But, that's okay. But it all comes down to, what are you attracting? What do you want to shift? What do you want to attract now?
Oh yes, totally. And it's almost like, it's funny because at some point it almost becomes like a game. Like, it's like once you start seeing how, you make a shift, and then you see that shift outside, and it's like, oh, okay. And then you start working, doing things inside, and then again, you automatically see it outside, and it's like, oh my God, it's so crazy. Like, I remember when I was still kind of, deciding what to do with my life and everything. And there were a few days where I had such, I was just so confused. I had no clue, like, which way to go, what to do. And these are the days when I had people telling me the most, like, you're doing the wrong thing, like, stay here or do this or do. And I was like, wait a minute. It's so weird that it's the days that I'm struggling the most that these people seem to be all of a sudden just popping into my life and saying, oh, why didn't you just wait a little bit? Or why didn't you just do this a little bit, And I was like, this is literally just mirroring what's already in my mind. Like, that's all that it was.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was so weird. It was just literally, and it's just now it kind of feels like a game almost. It's like, okay, I need to shift something.
Totally a game. Totally a game of life. That game, that board game, was actually one of my favorite games.
Yeah. There you go. We're already playing it, shall we say. But yeah, that's, wow. No, I love speaking about this stuff. It's so interesting. It's interesting how it's just nice when things start to come together and you start to kind of put the pieces to the puzzle, and it's like, oh, okay, I see how this connects to that, and then that connects to that, and then, yeah, it's all just like a piece. Yeah.
Well, actually, I kind of do see like this first wave, or maybe, multiple waves during this time, but between 2021 to 2024, like that 3-year time period, I feel a lot of us, people like us, light workers, star seed, who resonate with that term, advanced souls, that's going to be our time where we're cultivating now our craft. Yeah. Right now, the awakening and the ascension is the rediscovery of the self, the rediscovery of our psychic abilities, our superpowers, our past lives, and how we can now utilize those past lives for now, because this now moment is very, very important, more now than ever, So much. And so I think that within these 3 years, it's going to be a lot of these retreats, these healing centers, these institutions, these private communities, where it's just going to be available for anyone around anywhere, whether it's United States or in the UK or anywhere. We'll all be, and because of this internet, we'll all be, these leaders have this connection to where our institutions are connecting with this institution, and these private communities are now connecting with these private communities, and it just becomes a bigger web.
Yeah. Yes, which is amazing, because it's so nice to see kind of everyone uniting and unifying, and kind of putting their skills together to really create something incredible. It's almost like this is now us replacing the old system with this new system. So instead of hospitals, maybe people will be going to these like retreat centers and things like that. Yeah, that's
healing chambers, like how cool.
Yeah.
Or treating now, PTSD will actually be walking in labyrinths, or actually holistic care, or going through a past life hypnosis regression, or some type of healing modality that doesn't require popping a pill.
Yeah.
And more side effects, and then another pill.
Yeah. Totally. Yes, I totally see that coming, and I'm very much waiting for it. Okay, let's kind of wrap it up. How are you going to spend your 11/11 today? What are you going to do? Are you going to do any rituals or more manifesting?
I think it's just a normal day and I'm just going to do what I usually do. And I really see, but this is important, you know, these 11/11 days, it's just whatever comes into my field, it's meant to be. And so I know by me showing up here and sharing, it's going to be one of the most biggest and powerful things I do today, because I know that divine algorithm is going to take place and it's going to hit the hearts of whoever needs to hear it, you know. And then it's all about planting seeds. Total seed planter farmer over here, and I'm ready to see my sprouts grow into roses, and then we become the sisterhood of the rose and all of this fun stuff.
Yes, totally. Yes. No, you're right about planting those seeds. And yeah, you definitely kind of, you know, doing that. I mean, you've planted so many seeds. What you're doing it's incredible. I really see this kind of coming together and becoming much bigger. And, you know, you've already kind of unified with so many other incredible people that you're now kind of working with. So it's so nice to see, and so nice to kind of see your progress from the beginning to now. And then I'm looking forward to seeing how this whole thing kind of expands. But yeah, we'll definitely be speaking more about that, because now I will be taking part of it as well. So I'll be signing up. So for anyone who wants to know how this goes, definitely follow our stories on Instagram. That will all be updated on there. But Jasmine, I don't know if you're still up for it, but I did ask you before if you're up for doing some light language.
Yes.
Are you still up for that? Yeah?
Yes, absolutely.
Could you explain to anyone who might not know what this is, what light language is?
Okay, so let's see, just a little light overview for anyone who doesn't know what light language is. It's just a transmission that comes from the heart, and it usually comes from a galactic origin where our intuition and our heart, we're just open and receptive to the energies that comes through. And through our voice, we are receiving channelings of either our higher self or galactic beings, spirit guides that come through to share this healing transmission. So they're healing transmissions that come through vocally. So while it happens, you know, feel free to just relax, ground yourself, and just experience what your body feels as I begin to speak this light language.
Okay.
So it will obviously be in a different language, light language, but everyone's light language varies depending on that person's unique DNA. And so as we begin to dive more into our own light language, you know, I highly encourage people to just try it. It's very, at first for me, it was just a huge hill to get over to even try. But as soon as I got over that hill, it's like, whoa, that was so beautiful. And the first 2 or 3 times, actually the first time I ever did light language, the second time I did light language, I was on a Zoom and I had 7 or 8 people crying. And it's like, whoa, that's so powerful. And sometimes I don't even know what I'm saying, or sometimes I do, but it just is whatever decides to come through, you know, is whatever energy comes through is meant for that person to receive and meant for that person to just transmit.
Oh, that's beautiful. And I've listened to you once before and it was absolutely incredible. So I'm so excited for everyone to hear, what will come through this time. So, okay, I'll leave it for you.
Alrighty, so I'm just going to play a little bit of tunes in the back. So these are solfeggio frequencies. You don't really have to hear it, but just by it playing, it's all the energy's already in the room.
Okay.
So if you want, you guys can go ahead and just close your eyes and just ground in. Get back to center, into your heart. And if you want, you can put your hand at your heart or both hands, or in prayer form. Just be open to receive. Shia la kaya yala kayana Hiala sho yala ka shiala yana. Shia kayola ya kia ya shi shiala ho yana ya ka. Shia kayala kiana ya. Shia shiala kaya shoala. Shiana ya la kia. Shiala ko yana ka shiala ya. Shia shoa. Shia ki shiala hiana hoa ya ka. Shia kola ya kiana ya. Hiya kayala ko ya sha. Shia ya ya ka. Hiya la ya koa shia. Kiala kiana kaya shoalaka. Shia la ka. Shia la shiana hoya shia kala ia. Shia la ia. Shia la ka. Shia yana kaya kia shaya hola kiana ya. Hiala kaya shia ya koya shala ya ki. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Wow. Oh, wow. That was so potent. Incredible.
Thank you, Desi. I love doing that. It means a lot when I get to just channel and just be vulnerable and just share my medicine, you know.
That was incredible. Wow, that felt so powerful, especially in my heart and towards the end in my feet. It was like whoosh, something just like activated.
Oh, I love it. I feel it in my body too. Yeah, it's clearing.
It's so interesting. I was trying to visualize, what this being looks like, and it really appeared to me as like this, almost like an ancient old woman, kind of. I guess it was like the intonation and the way in which she was speaking. I just saw this like really old, powerful, wise, late, like old woman. Like, oh, yeah.
That's what I felt. I totally felt like I was channeling like that higher being. And even like my eyes right now, like everything's just so white and bright right now.
So incredible. I love this stuff. Thank you so much for sharing that. That was amazing.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. And before we go, are there anything else, any last words you want to share with everyone? And also, before we kind of finish off.
I would just say to everyone that don't worry about anything outside of you because the light has already won. There's just chaos needed before order. But in order for order to occur, it really has to be order within here first. So finding the balance within the chaos in here and not worrying about anything external is my advice to anyone and everyone today.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's beautiful advice. Thank you so much for that. And definitely a good note to leave on. Right, so guys, you can find Jasmine at Starseed Mystery School and also Crypto Adventure. Was that the website?
At Spiritual Crypto on Facebook or at Starseed Mystery School on Instagram or YouTube.
Yes, that's it. So yeah, definitely get connected with her if you want to learn anything more about any of her work or anything that we've spoken about today. Then definitely check out her pages. She shares really interesting info on there. So even if you just want to sit back and observe any of these things that we've spoken about today, definitely just definitely check her out. So Jasmine, thank you so much for today. Thank you for joining me. I think actually Jerome is back. Jerome, do you want to join us? Before we go, I asked him to do the light language as well, so I think he would like to do that. But could you stay for that, or do you need to?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. I know it's taken quite a long time, but yeah, these things never end. Jerome, come on. Okay.
Funny.
Do you guys have any questions? Any of you watching now? If you have any questions, feel free to ask before we leave. Might be last chance for today.
He said his battery is low.
Okay. Yeah. Come on for a few minutes. Yeah, I think that will be enough to kind of just do the light language and finish up. Because I remember the last time I heard you do the light language was at the same time as Jerome. So I think it was something about both of you doing it at the same time. It was so amazing. So I think it'd be nice.
There was, yes, because I remember when he did light language, it felt very similar. And when we go, you know, in class and we go to these different planets, I always sense Jerome like right next to me. And I always tell him, like, well, I told him before, I think it's because he's like a commander of a ship or something, and I'm a driver. Like, I'm always driving on these ships. And so it's almost like or always have this special connection because he has to tell me where to go, or he has to direct me into where to go, you know?
Yeah, I see.
So it's really interesting.
For anyone wondering what we're talking about, this is Andrew Weston's online school. So Unified Ascension. If you go to Unified Ascension on YouTube, then you'll see his school, where he posts daily videos about information about what's going on galactically and within our universe. So really interesting info. Definitely check him out as well. All right. Okay, Jerome's here. Yes. Oh, Raina, who has joined us, is saying, thank you for the light language healing. It really snapped me into the present moment. Very nice.
Hey, my battery here at 11%.
Just enough time to do this. How are you?
Yeah.
Back now? Yeah, so we covered quite a lot with Jasmine, but was there anything you wanted to kind of mention about the previous things that we spoke about today? What would you say about manifesting?
The importance of coming into balance with ourselves, coming into well, I guess I could say learn to trust ourselves, learning more of who we are. That in itself then connects into as well to the manifestation aspects. The more we actually bring down a lot of the programs that are within the subconscious, it helps with the manifestation as well too. Certain blocks that we may have, even for example, I even noticed how recently how subtle it is in terms of our own beliefs. How even just a feeling within the body, like a slight like tensing up, just ever so slightly, right? Not being able to like relax fully or to a certain degree. Well, personally, through my experience, noticed, like it would block certain things from coming into the reality, and the moment you actually like release and just allow for the body to relax, like even in that, just something as subtle as that.
Yes, totally.
Yeah, so it would allow for certain manifestations to come into the reality or attract. But yeah, I mean, the balance is key.
What about, how do you see, do you ever kind of think of it in terms of feminine and masculine energy? Because that's something that I've been kind of learning a lot about recently, and a lot of people are talking about, you know, the need to balance out the feminine and masculine energy, and how one is about receiving and the other one is about giving and doing. And how do you kind of, do you work with those? Or do you kind of see?
So in certain teachings, in certain modalities, some call it the hierogamos, which is the divine union, connecting into joining together of the masculine and the feminine. This in itself then connects into you can see it as the same hemisync that I was talking about earlier too, which is the hemispheric synchronization of the two hemispheres. This is integrating the aspects of the yin and yang. So again, coming into that balance within self. You can see balance in everything, the acid and alkaline. So there is a pH balance in that as well too. All of it is tied into one massive ecosystem, or the macro and the microcosm.
Yeah.
So the cosmos works in that way as well too, in terms of the balance. So for example, one technique that I often like recommend to people is to kind of, within your awareness, right? Even just in intentions, but within your awareness, you can ask to like call forth your masculine and your feminine, and often like see how they interact with each other. What I kind of do is I at times will visualize like a bridge within the two hemispheres of the brain, so like a bridge in between, and the feminine and the masculine is on either side, and they come together, merge as one. And in itself, that well, what I was shown is that unification brings forward like it looks to me like a silver or like a platinum type of yeah, kind of like platinum type frequency or color tone, which moves down into the heart space as well, and that emanates a certain frequency. So just certain visualizations like that has a powerful effect on the consciousness, right? So so that's a interesting technique that people can try, and you can feel it out within yourself, see how you perceive the reality. The more you actually like practice certain aspects like that, the intention of bringing the masculine and feminine together, intention of balance within self, balance around you, balance within the heart, emanating abundance, love, worthiness, right? That's a huge one. Feeling unworthy.
Oh yeah,
right?
that's a big one.
And so and bringing in that awareness of you are worthy, right? So
yeah, but you're right. I love visualizations. I think they're so powerful, and I feel like the more that I do them in my meditations and stuff, and it's like the more effect they seem to have. It's like the more belief that you put in it, the more it actually seems to have the effect, right? It's kind of like vice versa. But I find them so powerful. Jasmine, what about you? How do you kind of? Oh, sorry, Jerome, go on.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, Jasmine, how do you work with feminine and masculine energies? Do you kind of have how do you see them working together? Oh, I think I need to, yeah.
Okay. So I see them every single day as just like the awareness of them, the awareness of my own masculine and my own feminine, and how it's so important to have them both in balance, but both in action together. Like for me, I already know that I am a very feminine being, but with that being said, like internally, I'm very, very masculine. Like I'm very like, I like to write everything down. Everything is like, has a reminder and all that stuff. But then the feminine in me, I'm just like, well, if I should do this, then I'll do that. But it's like that balance, you know, you got to be assertive, but then you got to use that intuition. It's like do the love and heart and feeling, but also the discernment and thinking, you know, like the real human vibration stuff that you got to think about.
Yeah.
That's a good way to think.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that, Jasmine. I found for me, maybe the last maybe 3 months or so, was me really like tapping into the aspect of like the surrendering, and not try, especially for like meditation. Because I would tell people I don't really like, I guess, do the surrendering aspect of meditation, of just like letting go and just like allowing whatever to come up and things. Like I actually like would be doing a lot of traveling and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So right? So, and I would say that that's kind of like masculine in a way, because you're still in control of your thoughts. Your thoughts are still engaged, right? But recently now it's been a complete, it's been so different now in terms of like just you know, allowing for what to be is to be, and just surrendering to your consciousness, and um yeah, allowing the feminine brain, or the right brain to feed information into the left brain, right? And yeah, it's different. So then it then came into the aspect of the empathic abilities and all that stuff. So again, yeah, it's really being able to recognize the aspects within ourselves and the reality,
Yeah.
and yeah, and feel it out, you know. So even like I was saying again with the technique, you know, people could depend on your on how well you are at visualizing, or just, you know, use your imagination, and intend to have the masculine and feminine come up within you, and see how they interact with each other. Observe them,
Right.
right? And yeah.
Yeah. Do you also, if you, because I always do that with myself, if I have, say, like a pain or something on my left side, and then straight away I'm like, oh, that's my feminine, that's blocked. You know? I need to feel my feminine energy. Do you guys do that, or are you just kind of like more the visualization and stuff like that?
Yeah, I feel out my body. Yeah, certain aspects of yeah, certain sides would represent certain things. If you feel like a pain maybe in like your toe, um, you can even bring awareness, bring your consciousness to that area. You may notice certain thoughts come up within your awareness. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Some people do say, yeah, that if it happens, if there's pain on your left, then it'll be with the feminine. Oh
Yeah.
no, my phone dead. Bye.
What about you? Do you kind of see it like that as well? How do you know if one of the energies is imbalanced?
I think it really just depends. I really, at that point, when it comes to like a question like that, I would just have to ask myself and ask my guides, like, what is it that I need to reflect on? Is it my masculine? Is it my feminine? And then I just examine all the imbalances that are connected to that pain or something like that. But for me, I think it would be more like my thoughts, like my thought process of where is that imbalance? Like, why am I thinking this? You know? And then I would definitely connect it. Is it my feminine to where I'm not being nurtured enough, or is it my masculine where my ego is just maybe acting up and I just don't like that, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Oh no, I think we lost
Oh, we did.
Jerome. Oh no. I totally got carried away with the questions. So
I know.
that's okay. Okay. Well, we've had your amazing light language channeling, so I think that's enough for today. Yeah. Thank you so much, Jerome. We'll have you next time. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Okay, well, we'll end this. I think we've been on for almost 2 hours now, so I think that's just about right. So, yeah, Jasmine, again, thank you so much for today, for joining me today. It's been an honor as always. And guys, thank you so much for joining us again. Yes, just keep in touch. There'll be another live stream next week, so just make sure you follow. Oh wait, no, Jerome's back. Okay. Okay, we're just not gonna end this. All right, let's see. Let's just finish it with a light language channeling.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. Let's see if this works. Okay, Jerome. Let's see. Okay. Oh, it's pending. Okay. I think it's just one of those days.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I think oh, I'm going to, for the rest of the day, well, the night now, I'm probably going to go over my list and see which things have already manifested, and you know, start to do sort of like a little ritual for the rest that are still to manifest. But it's really cool actually to just go over your list that you've written, or you know, in your mind or whatever you have, and just kind of be like, okay, I can tick this one off. I have this is manifested, tick tick, you know. It's just such a nice feeling.
Yeah, because there's so much that we're doing on an everyday basis that we have to be like always consciously keeping up with. So I'm always writing stuff down.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And I think journaling in general is really helpful. Journaling and dream kind of, you know, writing down your dreams and things like that. I think it's really been helpful for me in kind of the last few months and stuff. Yeah, I'm finding it really good. Dropping down your thoughts. Okay. Are you ready? Sorry, you did tell me you only have 11%, but I got carried away totally. So yeah, with the questions. But okay, are you ready to do a light language channeling for everyone?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Are you sure? You sound a bit hesitant.
Yeah, I could do it. I haven't spoken like language. Well, it feels like a while, but let me see. Oh, you know what? I could bring in. All right. All right. So just bring your awareness to your heart. And within this point of awareness, on the next exhale, expand a sphere of light, of silver light, within your heart, and expand this sphere around you, or this orb. Allow this field of intelligence to expand into the cosmos. Connecting you to your divine avatar self, your Christed avatar. Jistuaye, dit tayamo, vush tayimuti, zainuwa, vialewa ti, ituya ma watimu, jitayo miana titulimu, vijuitana, shantaya wati, taya ka ma tiamu, buish taimu tistatenawa. Allow the first feel intelligence of your highest self to bring awareness within your DNA template. Through every dimensional aspect of yourself. The layers of your consciousness awareness. Faruata. Umaina tit twayenu.
Kalewa. Feel this intelligence moving into your physical body. Interacting with every cell. Allow the higher consciousness to move into the core of the earth, connecting into the crystalline core. As it connects into the crystalline grid, see it interacting with every crystalline consciousness existent upon the earth right now. As it creates a biofeedback interface system back into your physical body. Umaina T Walibo. Jinadevo. Vamanewo. Teat. And so it is. Bring your awareness now into the bottom of your feet. As you see a silver disc, bringing light from the core of the earth, the crystalline core. This will be connected into what some would know as the halls of Amenti. Allowing again for this communication to, as it may, it's gonna look like a rainbow light, or like how an aurora borealis would look. It's a greenish hue. And then bringing in the plasma light. So it'll appear as like kind of like a combination of these two crystals here. Ooh. As these plasma fields of intelligence interact with your blueprint, allow for any energies that no longer serve to surface and be transmuted. Or to come into balance the cosmos within. When you're ready, bring your awareness forward into this space. Connecting to the deeper aspects of yourself, in more powerful and balanced ways than you have been before. At this stage, you are also able to communicate with your cells, speaking words of worthiness, abundance, love. Merger with the cosmic mind. Awareness of the oneness within. Awareness of the many aspects of ourselves outside of the universal time matrix. Lawota, Tiawa, Timuwa, Ti, Twa, Tina, Ayemu, Walewa. Balance. We bring these changes through the transduction sequence, through the mind grid, DNA, RNA, through the meridians, chakra systems, cellular structure, fetal cells, the divine tree of life template, our crystalline grid, within ourselves and the earth. As we carry the blue flame and anchor our higher aspects here within this realm. Providing a space to be held for those who need it. Those who may be a bit lost and confused at this time. As we move more into our perpetual Christed awareness. And when you're ready, you come back into the space. Bring awareness to your body. Bring awareness to your physical senses as you become more enhanced. Remembering that you are one with the cosmos. The internal, external creation. How do you feel?
I feel good. I got a little crazy guy in the back.
Wow. Thank you, Jerome. This was amazing. Okay, wow. Were you guys awake way before me? I feel like I've been like this for ages.
Just
Wow.
wherever you're at, sis. We're all different.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Jerome. That was so powerful. Ooh.
Yes, it was. I felt like I was lifted off into other places, and then I got cold, and I realized, oh wait, I'm back in Montana.
Oh God. So yeah.
Yeah, that just my consciousness just brought it up. I mean that's how I do a lot of my meditation, and yeah, it just come up certain code frequencies. I've been working a lot with the plasma light frequencies now. Kind of appears to me like a combination of these two. Yeah, so
Wow. So how, with the crystals, how do you use them? Do you kind of just project the energy out to others? How does it work with that?
yeah, well, yeah. I basically intend to connect to the to not just us but those who may be watching it, either now or in future no moment. These crystals, at times, even recently, no, they've been talking to me a lot. So yeah, these two wanted to communicate, and yeah, and then my consciousness, as I was speaking like language, I usually see the visuals. So the images and the codes basically come together within the moment. I don't really like preset on what I don't really plan on what I'm gonna do or say, or which is often be a little nerve wracking for me. But that comes into the turn into the feminine aspect and just allowing what needs to come up at time to come up.
Wow.
So feeling the some of the emotions from the collective and stuff. Even almost brought tears to my eyes, yeah, in terms of because it was it's so much confusion and frustration and but then there is also the hope, the hopefulness as well too. The awareness coming up, people are waking up a lot faster.
Yeah.
Right? And coming into realizing or recognizing our power, which was taken away. Well, we always had it, but we forgot it. Coming into that awareness of who we truly are at this time. So yeah, this is a perfect day to tap into a lot of that, and it's kind of preparing us again for the energy that's going to roll forward in 2021 into the 2023 as well too, which is another huge cross point as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, all this is the preparation, right? Everything that's happening in the world now is it's a process of removing the old and transmuting all of that into something new, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. God, yeah, that was so powerful. And I think it's things like this that are just so powerful in allowing people to come together and to kind of just heal together, as like a group, as a unified group. So that was so beautiful. It was interesting when you said that about the people, allowing people who are feeling confused, the confusion, and that I kind of just saw this image of like the planet and this one point within the planet, which I'm guessing is where you are, because you were, casting the energies out, but I just saw all these blue energies going out from this point and connecting to these different parts of the planet. It was so cool. Wow. Yeah, that was pretty special. Yeah. Amazing. Well, thank you again, guys, so much for this. I think this is the third time now. But yeah, if you guys want to experience more of Jerome's powerful healing work, definitely check out his channel, Unified Energetics, and also Unified Energetics on his Facebook and Instagram page. And again, also Jasmine Starseed Mystery School. Check out her Instagram and her Facebook too. So guys, thank you so much. It's been such an honor to share the space with you, and it's been so healing for me personally, and I know everyone who's been watching and who will be watching in the future will also gain so much wisdom and power from this talk alone. So thank you so much for this.
Thank you, Des. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks. Thank you guys for watching, and until next week, bye.
Bye.